Hello and welcome, it's the 8th of November. I was quite surprised when I came down to the allotment today. Just the changes week on week are really quite noticeable. My cherry tree, for example, suddenly all the leaves are yellow, orange and falling off. It's definitely getting more autumnal. Although the weather's really mild for this time of year, we are getting more rainfall and the ground is more constantly damp. So it's time for me to assess what root vegetables I've got going on. Maybe accelerate the harvest of those to save them spoiling because of the damp soil. Definitely time for me to pick my apples. We've still got stuff in the greenhouse, so we'll have an assessment of that. Right, let's get going. So it's time to pick my apples. It's probably the latest in the year I've ever done this, and although I've been taking an apple every now and again as I wander around the plot, have a bite, I've not yet done the full harvest. There's very little windfall, which is good. Most of them are still on the tree. Some of them are starting to get nibbled by wildlife, so time to pick them. The one I had last week though, somehow, let me just pick one now. Comes off the tree really easily. The one I had last week was really juicy. They seem to be getting more juicy as we go on. There's inside of an apple. Really good, really good. If I harvest these too early, quite sour, but really good now. So I'm going to finish this off and get the apples off the tree. Cheers. Behind me we've got the last of the Detroit beetroot that I sowed in June. I'll show you that. I'm going to harvest the rest of those now. Not too bad, not too bad. At the front of the plot we've got our other type of beetroot, which is bowl tardy, which I sowed in July. I've collected some jam jars, I've got some vinegar, so time for harvesting a row of these and we'll get pickling. Right, most of them are a decent enough size. Because I'm using them straight away, I'm going to take the leaves off, put them on the compost heap, make the beetroot easier to transport. Any small ones kind of that size or below, straight onto the compost heap. Right, let's have a carrot update. So these carrots are a variety called Nantes 5. I sowed them in June. I'm not really successful with carrots. In fact, this is probably my first really successful year with carrots. We know they are good. So I'm going to harvest a row, then maybe a row the next week, maybe a row the next week. Let's stick some up and show you. You can't argue with that, can you? Now, on to an unknown, the parsnips. So when I dug up those carrots, you could see there was a load of mud stuck to them. When I was pulling those carrots, say, a month ago, they were just coming clean straight out the ground. The soil was nice and dry, so you can tell the soil's starting to get saturated with water, so it is time to start pulling up your carrots and your beetroot. You don't want them to go rotten. Also, you will notice I was treading on the soil there. It was sort of a a rule I put in place myself a few years ago: don't tread on the soil, because you don't want to compact it down. When the weather's really dry, you can get away with it, and we have had a very dry year, but it's starting to get wet now, so I will be reducing the amount of time I spend treading on the soil, or maybe use wooden boards to sort of spread my weight when I'm on it, because I don't want that soil compacting. In terms of these parsnips, they're a variety called White Gem. I sowed them at the start of June. Now, you're supposed to wait till the foliage is starting to die back before you start taking these out the ground, and the best taste is after they've had a frost, where the starch converts to sugars apparently. But I'm impatient, I can't wait to see what these look like, so I'm going to take a couple off the end and have a look, see what they look like. So let's do that. Got my fork, we don't want to snap any, do we? We don't want to snap any. Gently does it. Soil's not as wet here. We do have sort of clay soil here, but yeah, a couple of small ones, we'll ignore them. Another one. There we go. I'll get a closer picture, but yeah, decent parsnips. Time to dismantle the temporary glass frame I put up this year. I've done it for a couple of years. Just this year I had my tomatoes in there just protected from the wind. Gives them in a more sheltered environment. The tomatoes have been out there a month or so now, so time to deconstruct that. It might be the last time we see a glass structure like this. I have other plans for those windows, but that's for later in the year. I'm going to get on with that, and yeah, I'll be back tomorrow. So we're back the next day. I managed to get all that beetroot I picked yesterday pickled, roasted it, then put some in white vinegar and some in malt vinegar. Top tip, some recipes say to roast the beetroot with the skins on, and then when they're roasted the skin comes off quite easily, but that can be quite messy once you've roasted them. So I tend to, before you've roasted them, under a running water, just peel the skins off with a potato peeler. Then when you've roasted them, you just put them on a chopping board. You don't need to touch them, knife and fork, and you can put them in the jars. Saves your hands getting all red. Although that chopping board does look like something quite awful has happened on it. Right, I'm going to start to clean the greenhouse out now. I'm going to start with the tomatoes. So we had 6 tomato plants in the greenhouse. There was no tomato blight anywhere on the plot this year, which is good news. So these are quite tall, to say the least. Stopped producing. There's the last tomatoes of the season. I'm going to pop these on the compost heap. Then we'll bring the chillies out to show you. So we'll start with the chilli shake chillies. As you can see, the plants are dying back, so I'm going to cut off the red chillies. So as you can see, some plants are bigger than others. It has been a really good year for chillies this year. So we're the third or fourth crop I've had of these. So I'm going to finish harvesting the chilli shake. God, that is tall. That is tall. Then we'll come on to the other types of chillies we've got, which weren't as successful in germination. Right, I'm going to finish this off, get these on the compost heap. Then we'll have a look at some jalapeno and some hot lemon. So here we have the jalapeno. The chilli shake we're growing from seed. This jalapeno, I just bought a chilli from the supermarket, cut it up and grew the seeds. Germination rate wasn't good. This was the only plant that germinated. So I am very pleased with the results. The same sort of thing happened with the hot lemon. Just finish this off. I'll bring out the hot lemon. So here we have the one hot lemon plant that germinated and grew chilies. It's more important for me that this one survived and produced, because I've been saving the seeds of these for the past few years. So if the seeds didn't germinate, then sort of the bloodline, if you like, would have finished. So these, the ancestors of these, go back a few years. So as with all of the chilies that I've grown this year, I'll keep some seeds back and sow them again in January time. Any green ones, both of these and the chilli shake and the jalapeno, I'll ripen them off at home. I have overwintered chilli plants before, one time even successfully. So, you know, keep them outside, maybe cut them back a bit, and hopefully they will survive the winter and you'll have a head start with sort of healthy small plant rather than starting again from seeds. But like I said, I've probably only successfully done that once. It's an unheated greenhouse. I find that it's just as easy to start again from seed, obviously keeping your fingers crossed that they germinate. Right, I'm pleased with that. Now the greenhouse is a little bit more empty. We do still have some chilies in there, so I'm going to sort all this out and we'll go have a look at the basket of fire chilies. Right, let's go into the greenhouse then. First of all, got a fig tree there. You can see, hopefully, it's brown stem up to there and green. So that's how much it's grown this year. You can see at the back there, brown and about there, turns to green. So I might have to reconsider where that goes. But here we got our basket of fire chilies. So these ones were on a shelf that was at the top there, and where the sun is, maybe they didn't get enough sunlight, because this basket of fire is considerably greener leaves than these. It's sat there for the entire time. So these are probably just about ready, so I'm hoping they'll go a darker shade of orange or even red. So we've got, I might clean the greenhouse windows to be honest. Right, what's next? Leeks! cleaned the windows. You can actually see in it now. So last thing today, I'm going to dig up some of the Musselburgh leeks that I direct sowed in the bed behind me in April. Let's have a look what we've got. Again, a bit muddy, but we got some decent enough leeks there. I'll continue to harvest those over the next few weeks. That's it for this week. Thanks for watching. Click subscribe, send me a comment. I'll see you next time. Cheers.